Hey there, I can't wait to meet you.
Hey there, it's me, V.
It said something to me.
All right, that's pretty cool.
What's your name?
My name is Caroline.
Tetsuo.
Mike Worthington.
All right, let's get this run started.
All right, let's do it.
Get ready to pick up your speed, Tetsuo. 3, 2, 1, go!
How am I doing?
Let's get your step rate in check. Step to the beat. Left, right, left, right.
Calories.
Step right. Heart rate?
162 beats per minute. All right, Jason. I guess you might even need a shower after all.
Good one. That was cool.
Okay, the sun is gonna set pretty soon. Why don't we call it a day and go home?
So I assume you got the general idea, but we are a pretty interesting company from a journey and from a evolvement perspective. We started actually from the aerospace domain. In my background, till about 10 years ago, finished a long service as a pilot in the Israeli Air Force, and since then we had a few unfortunate events around the world of pilots and astronauts that either lost their lives or got into risky situations. And the inspiration was to save their lives by monitoring their biometrics and give them voice feedback in real time to be healthier and safer. We took this core technology, bootstrapped in the first 3 years, delivered working systems that are being used today by NASA, the Air Force, and other clients. And basically, when AI and voice became well accepted about 2.5 years ago, we basically decided to shift the vision into a much more ambitious one and build a whole new layer on top of the core technology using an adaptive, interactive, voice and text-based entity called V. Basically helping people to get from A to B if they want to lose weight, run 5K, or do a mindfulness session using a guided audio and textual content. The strategy was using crowdfunding almost as a tactical tool, with a lack of a better term. And the reason I say that, we basically raised a round to create our full technology stack, but afterwards we didn't want to go into full development before we're getting a clear market acceptance. Went to Kickstarter over a year ago. V became Kickstarter's most funded fitness wearable ever to date. But most important, created a community that helped us to iterate and actually kill lots of assumptions that we had throughout the process to make sure that we are addressing not only the concept as a marketing concept, but basically lots of iterations and beta testing with the community till today. Second phase happened a few months ago, delivered a few tens of thousands of devices to 40 countries around the world, currently focused in the US in terms of commercial region. The top fitness product on Amazon for 2017. We're extremely, extremely proud of this output. It's okay to sell devices, but it's most important for a company at our size to deliver a full stack experience, which is earphone that tracks your biometrics and voice. So basically for a company at our size to deliver a full stack experience, which is a full hardware stack, we did a partnership with Harman Kardon on the audio part, but biometrics, speech recognition, environmental sensors, ergonomy, and full endurance, full machine intelligence tools that can adapt to you who you are over time, and a full human voice that you will hear in a second. So the fact that people loved it and engaged with us was great. And the next phase, which is the most exciting part, is unleashing the AI to any type of connected audio device out there. It can be your Apple Watch, it can be your phone, or it can be your smart home device, basically giving a gated premium hardware experience that we're already giving and delivering a more of a device-agnostic experience to scale the business model. I was asked to talk about challenges. We have many. And I think the most interesting part is the voice, because for us, when we started, it was obvious that we're going to use TTS voices. TTS goes for text-to-speech. The Alexas and the Siris and the Googles of the world that you guys are well familiar with. But very fast, going back to the Kickstarter story, we understood that people will not or are not engaging with a robotic voice for this type of body and mind experience. So we went, and I'll save you lots of details, lots of attempts and hacks to try and get to a human-level voice. They will get there, by the way. In 2 to 3 years today, you're going to hear fully human voice. The DeepMinds and the Alexas of the world are heading there in full steam. But we didn't want to wait, and we tried to hack this problem almost in a manual way, which ended up with a very serious proprietary technology. So basically, without wasting your time with too much technology and details, we have 3 main layers that are delivering this experience. The first is data extraction. I won't go over the full part, but stuff like heart rate, barometrics, your health kit, your Spotify music, your weather around you, basically giving us the ability to profile who you are and what you're doing in real time. The second is the logics and machine intelligence. AI is a pretty abused word, so we're using both decision tree, decision making, but also basic machine intelligence tool. And now we're starting to get much more data after the last 6 months and trying to create some really cool stuff to adapt and to predict what we can suggest to the user vocally and textually. But what we call natural voice processing didn't exist. It wasn't exist about a year from today. And it was a huge barrier for us. And we were confident that it would be a big mistake for a startup like ours to try and win this battle as well. But we had no other choice if we really want to deliver this full experience. So basically what we did, you don't see the image, which is pretty unfortunate. But we created our own content team, and we took about over 200, the best world-class personal trainers, health experts, nutrition experts, and we literally downloaded their audio content into voice snips. So try to close your eyes and imagine that you're interviewing the best humans out there that can train people in the best way. You're writing scripts, and now you're trying to analyze what are the free variables out of all of those sentences that you can play and create tons of variables and tons of variations in terms of voice interaction. The second thing we did, and we're talking about over 65,000 audio snips, over 6,000 audio hours, recording hours in a studio, and we're still counting. Then what we did is we created the world's first scalable system for a human voice like ours that is stitching full sentences. What you see over here is full sentence with your personal name in different emotional ways, with your metrics in real time, with the weather around you, with your fitness insights, basically being stitched into full sentence, which sounds fully human. It took us over a year to solve this one. And by the way, when the humanized voices will be ready, we will use them in 18 to 24 months. But I just want to show you what is the actual real-time experience that people out there are experiencing, and I welcome you guys to test it as well. So this is a regular TTS voice.
All right, Steven. You already know the drill. Loosen up your muscles by warming up for 2 minutes.
Pretty emotional and exciting. And that's V.
All right, Steven, you already know the drill. Loosen up your muscles by warming up for 2 minutes.
You just heard 11 files stitched. Second example.
Steven, that heart's beating like you in the club, clocking in 164 beats per minute.
And V again.
Steven, that heart's beating like you in the club, clocking in 164 beats per minute.
3 more quick examples. Music. Once you have what we call a hearable, basically a computer in your ear, you have a hands-free, eyes-free experience. So I can use audio content to empower your experience and to basically motivate you in different cool ways beyond just voice. This is a feature called Step to the Beat. We're using a metronome, including music, that is pacing you in order to get to your fretboard zone or to avoid injuries during your run or walk. Let's hear an example.
Let's get your step rate in check. Step to the beat.
Second example, we're taking real-time content and feeding into people's ears anything that happened in real time or yesterday from NPR and other services that we're using. So this is an example that we did the morning after Game of Thrones premiere.
Game of Thrones this past weekend was insane. And now we have to wait another year. Man.
And you need to see the social reactions when people they don't get how we knew where they are, what's the time of day, and what happened yesterday in the news. And last part, V takes context out of the earphones itself. So she's connected to your health kit or your overall activity, if it's a watch or a phone, and give you overall context towards your goal.
The amount of steps you've taken over the past week are well within your average. But I want you to challenge yourself, so try gradually increasing your activity.
So, again, I don't like success stories because it sounds like a cliche, but I think all of us in the room, most of the time we fail, we have very little successes, but this was a very scrappy, painful process that ended up with a result that we didn't even expected, to be really honest. But throughout the process, it was very interesting to see this manual, pretty ridiculous process to try and humanize the voice that ended up with a technology that is currently being used by us and going currently to some very interesting places today and other devices that are not only ours. You can see the image. There's an issue over here with the image being presented in this projector, but basically beautiful reactions over social and over Amazon related to this voice experience. We are ahead of time, open for questions. Yeah. Thank you.
Hold on a second. We have this amazing FirstMark mic that should be switched on.
You're discussing AI, and it's on, or should be on. Okay, so regarding the AI, how are you going about the data privacy, and how are you complying with the GDPR that will be coming into effect this May?
So from a privacy perspective, we're doing two main things. The common practices are making sure that you're fully protected, both your cloud. The most sensitive part is the cloud because we're gathering anything that is related to your well-being that can help us. We are addressing the most strict policies. The US policy, you guys probably know it, but Europe is more strict in that sense. And so this is our benchmark. So we're utilizing all the tools needed from a security and privacy perspective. Second, all the information is anonymous. So we make sure not to, if you will go into your cloud, you will see a number. You won't see a match between your name and the data.
Tell us about the form factor, the hardware part. What does that look like? What does it do? Why did you design it that way?
So basically, we needed a trade-off of a very powerful hardware that can have high battery power, good line of sight to your mouth so you can create speech recognition, and different types of biometrics within your inner ear. So we went for the safest first version of a neckband that has all the processing and battery power over here and the biometrics in the inner ear. We did go for an overkill over there intentionally, and the idea was to create like the flagship, the first device that will have all the information needed, and then scale, and I cannot share more information at this phase, but scale to more versions and more SKUs that we can deliver different pricing and different partnerships that we can do.
And you mentioned you shipped a bunch of units. We can currently buy this, or is it?
Go to getv.com. Getv.com or follow us on social and Train with V. You'll get it in 48 hours, and happy to get any feedback. The interesting part, you guys are probably familiar with Tesla and other companies out there. V is designed to get over-the-air updates once a month. So you're buying a one-time hardware piece of hardware, good sound, tracker, and so forth. But most important, you're getting on and on value months over months, more activities, more content, and so forth.
how did you choose? So the main use case that you demoed there was like exercise or running. How did you choose, or how are you looking at different options for like cooking or commutes or like all the other places that you could apply that technology to?
It's a critical question. So I think that the health and fitness was our passion. So it wasn't like an analytical, market analysis optimization. But running and walking was by far the most accessible, scalable markets. You just need a pair of shoes and you're good to go. And it was very easy for us to take the main, I call it the gates of hell within the voice trigger devices domain. Once you're claiming to be a general assistant, you guys know it very well, I assume, you're in big trouble. And we wanted a use case that will have what we call the direct dialogue strategy, which is you can control most of the voice interaction. So most of the interaction is V asking you questions and you answer, and you have a few tens of commands that you can still ask, and the user is cool with it because he knows that it's for a specific use case. You are going to see V expanding towards a full body and mind companionship, from mindfulness to other very cool things that are not necessarily running and walking. At the end of the day, our goal is to make health or personal health accessible around the world using AI and voice, meaning lowering or democratizing the barrier of getting a personal training service. Instead of going to Equinox in New York, I want every person around the world to be able to pay monthly or get a device and get this content in their ear.
All right, one last one over there, and let's keep it reasonably quick. Where's the...
Sure. That's pretty cool.
Have you thought of generalizing your NLG tech for like things like audiobooks or exposing an API?
Yes. Again, to the second point, we need to be very selective and accurate on what we're trying to achieve. Absolutely, yes. Any type of personalized audio content that we can use because we know who you are, where you are, and what you're currently doing will be utilized, including audiobooks and any other content that is translating into audio these days.
All right, thank you very much. This was great. I really appreciate your time here.
Thank you, guys. Great to be here.